My dad took me out of school when I was 7, and said he wanted to homeschool me. I never understood why, to be honest. I always did good in school, but one thing I noticed was we never actually did any school work. You see, I slept a lot during the day, 'cause my dad would keep me up most of the night, to play hide and seek. I never got to seek, it was my job to hide and hide good. As my dad would say. So every night I'd hide, and my dad would try and find me. I had this spot in my closet, that even my dad didn't know about. It was at the very back corner and it was a door that led into a crawl space. I'd taken an electric lantern, some blankets, a little cooler of food, a couple comic books and my Game Boy to keep myself busy while we played. He never found me, but it was always funny listening to him try. He'd growl and snarl like he was trying to scare me, but I just had to stay quiet. As Daddy said, if I lost we wouldn't be able to play anymore. So last night my aunt and uncle, Daddy's brother, came over for dinner. When it was over and we were sitting around talking, I mentioned about playing hide and seek. My daddy's face turned white, and my uncle gave me a weird look. "What do you mean you're playing hide and seek tonight?" My uncle asked. "Every night Daddy and I play hide and seek. But he's really bad at it as he never finds me." I replied. "Go get your pajamas on, Jay," my dad said as the tone in his voice changed. As I left the dining room, nobody was saying anything. But when I got to my room, I could hear my dad and uncle talking angrily to each other. The last thing I heard was the door slam, and my dad's stomping feet coming up the stairs. "Did Uncle Tom and Aunt Linda leave?" I asked. "Yeah, they had to get on the road," my dad answered, giving me a long hug. "Is it time to play, Dad?" I asked as I finished getting my pajamas on. "A few minutes. There's something I want to talk to you about," he replied as he sat on my bed. "This will probably be the last time we play, as Uncle Tom wants you to come stay with him and Linda for a while," he said as tears welled up in his eyes. I didn't understand, but I did remember before Mommy was killed in the woods by that murderer, that she and Daddy had talked about me living with Uncle Tom, so I didn't argue, I just hugged my dad. So if this was going to be our last game for a little while, then I was for sure not getting caught. My dad left the room, and went down into the basement where he always started. I could hear him counting as he walked away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. His voice trailed off. He always gave me to 100 to hide. I climbed into my closet and pushed the crawlspace door in, and wriggled through the wall into the damp, dark space. The smell of dust and dirt filled my nose, as I turned the electric lantern on. Turning back around, I pushed the little door back on, and made myself comfortable. I'd just finished reading the new Incredible Hulk, when I heard my dad come in the bedroom. Turning off the lantern, I heard him go into my closet shifting the hangers on the rod. He made noises like a big dog, sniffing and growling. It was really hard for me not to laugh, as I sat there in the pitch black, waiting for him to leave so I could get back to reading. There was a loud bang from outside, as I heard my Uncle Tom yell my name. "Jay, stay where you are and don't come out," he yelled into the house. I heard my dad run from my room and head towards the stairs. "Mark, you don't need to do this, we can fix it. Look at Linda, she doesn't even change anymore." I didn't know what my uncle was talking about, but then loud bangs rang through my house like fireworks going off. It was morning by the time I pulled the door off the crawl space and got out into my room. The house was dead quiet as I went to the washroom and cleaned myself up. When I went downstairs to get some breakfast, the house was empty. There was a note on the table from my dad. "Jay, you're growing up to be such a strong boy. I need you to be even stronger now, and go and live with Uncle Tom for a little while. I love you, son, and I'm sorry this has to happen. Dad." At the bottom was Uncle Tom's phone number. I cried. I mean, of course I did. My dad just left me to my aunt and uncle with no explanation. When I looked up, Tom was standing there with his rifle slung over his shoulder. "Hurry up and finish your breakfast, buddy. We got to go get rid of an old wolf that I killed last night." We spent the rest of the day digging a hole and throwing in chopped up pieces of the wolf. It was weird, but I thought I seen my dad's wedding ring on the ground, but it got knocked into the hole when Tom picked up one of the wolf's front paws. "Uncle Tom, when can I see my dad again?" I asked, trying to hold back tears. "I'm not sure, Jay, and that's the truth. Hopefully someday soon we'll see. Tom replied as we started filling in the hole. I'm not gonna lie, going back to school was great after being out for a year, and Tom and Linda took great care of me. But lately Tom has been sleeping out in the barn, and every time he does his pretend wolf howls keep me up really late at night. I heard him and Linda talking about how it may be time to play hide and seek again. A hot summer day obviously would mean only one thing: a trip to the local water park. Splashing Springs was the local water park of my small hometown, and must say it was a fantastic place. Cool water, cute lifeguards, jaw-dropping slides and good food for whenever you needed a break. Yes, this place had it all, and was rightfully popular. This, however, changed with an event that happened in my senior year of high school. Summer had finally come. My high school experience was finally over, and college was coming up fast. For old time's sake, I invited my friends to go to Splashing Springs for one last hurrah, celebrating our graduation. We all drove excitedly, for it had been an entire year since we were last there, meeting by the ticket stand and giddily heading in, deciding on what slides to go on first. The others had gone to less populated slides first, wanting that immediate thrill. But I wanted to ride the Monsoon, the longest and most thrilling ride in the entire park, lasting a good 2 minutes total. It had been ages since I had been on it, so I decided that my main goal of the day was to ride it. Unluckily for me, however, is that the line was not yet long, meaning I had a chance. About 20 minutes later of waiting and I finally was at the front of the line, waiting for the rider in front of me to exit the slide. Once he finally had, I sat down in the water in anticipation, waiting for the lifeguard's cue. Once I had gotten the go-ahead, I excitedly rushed down the slide, whipping around at a fast pace, blood running fast. But my enjoyment soon faded, as I realized that it had been a while since I first went down. It had been around 5 minutes and I was still going. I had thought to myself, must have tricked myself. Another 5 minutes pass, I was still sliding. Here I became confused. Surely it had been 2 minutes. Right? Yes, it had to have been by now. Another 5 minutes, still going. Now I started to worry. Why am I still here? I should have been off ages ago. Another 5 go by, and I start to feel sick. I do my best and hold back my vomit. Another 5 minutes, I started feeling dreary. I had began to prune by now, but I didn't worry about that. I worried about my current state. How was I falling asleep with cool water running down my back? But that didn't matter, for another 5 minutes later, and I passed out. I had awoken by the feeling of water encasing my body. Opening my eyes, I saw the pool at the bottom of the slide. I quickly swam upwards to only see that the sky had began to go dusk. The pool was surrounded by onlookers and my friends, worried as all hell and confused beyond belief. Drowsy, I asked what happened. What time is it? Annoyed, the manager stepped forward, briskly answering hello? You've been in there for 8 hours. What the hell were you doing in there? I was as confused as her until I remembered what happened before I passed out. I shakily said I was going down the slide, but it just kept going. After around half an hour I passed out. Shocked, she then promptly dragged me out of the pool and into her office. Locking the door behind her, she sat me down and promptly asked, what did you see in there? Confused, I said the obvious, water, the tube, me, blood stains. Wait, blood stains? Her worried expression became even more worried, her words moving faster. What else did you see? Pressing my own brain to remember, it finally hit me. I saw a little boy. I vaguely said. What of the little boy? She asked. What condition? Was he alive? Did you see anyone else? I shuddered, preparing myself to speak. Ma'am? Yes? She said. I have the answers, but I have a question of my own. That is, why didn't it end? So I was fresh out of school with a degree in graphics design, so I applied for internship/apprenticeship at my then local newspaper Sagat. Sami News. Under the tutelage of my counselor, one night we were at work. This was a Sunday, so I spent time in the garage where the big printer we used to print new paper. I was cleaning and doing maintenance on some of the rolls and checking for cracks in the rubber. While I was doing that, I heard someone cry out further in the hall. Then the lights died. I fumbled to get my phone out to make my way to the circuit breaker, which was located in the UV room where we'd prepped plates with upcoming newspapers. While I was inside, I heard more crying out, following by a German man yelling Achtung. I turned to where the sound came from, flashing my phone's light in the area. What I saw still haunts me, a shadow about 2 feet 4 inches meters tall figure standing there. I'd recognize that helmet anywhere. I just ran out, not even looking back, ran into my cousin's office, asking about the figure. I described the figure, and then I was told that the building we were in was located on a German burial ground from World War II. Thank you for watching. For more addictive content, please subscribe, and please remember, say no to drugs.